Delighted to see you all here virtually, and today we're going to have a webinar on the topic online icebreaking activities. And let me introduce our presenters. Sabina Askarova.
Hello everyone. Thank you for your participation to our webinar. I hope you will learn new things, useful materials from today's webinar. And my partner is Madina Banu Ibrahimova.
And here I am. Now let's get started. Now I would like to invite you to unmute your microphones and help me to describe this picture, please.
So this is learning process. And people are learning online maybe, and standing, walking, sitting, using mobile phones. Learning process?
Yes, it's all about online education, so online teaching and learning. Thank you, Ms. Nargis. Now I would like to invite you to answer some questions. So usually teachers and future teachers join the webinars. I think many of you have started just conducting online teaching classes. So please, can you share with us your experiences, your challenges, please? The first question is, what are some challenges of online teaching?
This is, I think, where?
Yes, Ms. Nargis.
So one of the most difficulties in online teaching, I think, is engaging students, because coming from my own experience, this is some students have problems with connection, access, and this can be one of the challenges of online teaching.
Thank you. Others, please be active.
Hello everyone, may I speak?
Hello, Ms. Parna. Yes.
How are you? Well, I'd like to add to Ms. Nargis, that's right. Tech tools cannot always work well, so it can sometimes destroy the atmosphere of the online learning. And sometimes you cannot involve all students at the same time because it's not face-to-face. That's why you cannot see their faces. That's why you have to all the time should be active yourself as a teacher, like talking to them in various tones in order to wake them up, because sometimes it might be the situation as if you are talking to yourself, because students usually they switch off their microphones, and well, in order to make them very active, you should find out the ways to make them very active and to cheer them up.
Yes, thank you for your response, Ms. Barno. Now, can you tell me how you overcome challenges in your online teaching? Maybe you have your own tips or strategies.
Well, as a teacher, I usually try to find out different ways to start the lesson. I'm not always, well, I don't always start at the same way. Sometimes I start the lesson with a question or with a quiz, or sometimes I give them picture. different ways, because if it's different all the time, they have to think about it, and they will be easily involved to the lesson.
Thank you. And the other participants, please feel free to share your experiences with us, your tips on strategies. Okay, let's answer the third question. Like, how do you make your classes more interactive? What activities do you use in your online classes? Okay, today we will learn some icebreakers. So let's move on. Now I'll show you some pictures. Now, can you help me describe these pictures? What can you see?
And the first one, very exhausted little learner.
Uh-huh.
I think he must be tired of these lessons. Almost he's sleeping.
Yes.
Think that learners that face some difficulties in learning, and
Yes.
they kind of challenge it and are thinking.
Yeah, it seems to me they are bored and tired. So
Yeah,
they do not like
frustrated.
online teaching, learning.
Yeah, the pictures as well. At the same time, teachers also exhausted and they are bored, fed up with the activities or this online teaching. Their faces look frustrated.
Yes, and they had a question why.
Here is the comment of Samad wa Shahnaza that she cannot participate discussion. She's on the bus, and she's ready to listen our hotly discussion, and she said that that in these pictures they are exhausted, tired, and that seems that online classroom is a kind of online classroom is boring classroom, but she hoped that we can advise some ways to make it a kind of engaging and a fun way of activities.
Thank you, Sabina. Now, and today we will discover how to make your classes more interactive. The first of all, sorry? And today we will discover how to make our classes more interactive. First of all, we should take some learners' needs, preferences, and their wants and lack into account to design the classes and our activities. And the first important thing is learning styles. So our learners might be visual, auditory, tactile, or kinesthetic. And next one is multiple intelligences. Here you can see 8 types of them, like bodily-kinesthetic, interpersonal, verbal linguistic, logical mathematical, naturalistic, intrapersonal, visual, and spatial. And the last one is musical. And if we want to create rich learning experiences, we should combine both varied learning styles and multiple intelligences to create our activities and exercises. And the first one, I would like to offer you some different types of activities. So here you can see 1 types of intelligences and so 4 different styles, like visual and auditory, tactile, and kinesthetic. So you can use the reading activities like you may ask your students to read online text, to read ebooks. For auditory learners, you can ask your students to listen to lectures or podcasts. And next one is tactile. For tactile learners, you can use the color in PDFs. So, or you can use different tools to write something. And for kinesthetic learners, you can ask your students act out the verse, and you can use your own body to convey the meaning. Another type of intelligence is bodily-kinesthetic. For this type of learners, we can ask our students to observe the movement activities, and we can include interactive e-learning games in our classes. We may just design or develop different activities that help our learners to move to listen to leave or recorded audio directions. And the last one is kinesthetic learners. For this type of learners, we can different virtual reality simulation.
Okay.
This is another type, it's a musical. So for this type of the learners, we can design different reading activities. So we can ask our students to read the musical notes. We can ask our students to listen to music and identify the composer or genre of the music. Even though we can ask our students to practice the finger and hand positions for playing notes on physical or virtual instruments. And we can develop some activities that can help our students dance and move to music. And here is the interpersonal intelligence. So it's advisable to keep a written reflecting journal for visual learners, and it's recommended to record their thoughts and listen to the recorded thoughts and exercise for this type of the learners. So interpersonal can be paraphrased as a self-study, self-reflection. Then the third, for the tactile learners, we can ask them to collect some materials to express their ideas and the feelings. And for the kinesthetic learner, it's advisable to use meditation. And another type of intelligence is interpersonal. Here, we can ask our students to read and write the post, and we can use audio apps, and we can design different scenarios involving interaction between the people. And we can include some multiplayer virtual reality games as well to make our learning more effective and efficient. So if we include both learning styles and multiple intelligences, so we can create engaging online learning activities. So we can attract our students during our lessons. So then can smile and they can interested in our classes. So now, can you describe these pictures?
Happy faces, satisfied.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, both sides are happy and delighted, teachers
Yes.
and learners.
Yes, thank you. Now my partner Sabina Askarova will introduce some engaging ice-breaking activities.
Thank you, Madina Bono. My first activity that's engaging and that can be used as an icebreaker is the same and different game. It is not for individual and independent learning, just it is very helpful for team cooperation and team building. Let me explain the instruction. First of all, teacher should divide the participants into the group of 3 or more, and he should allocate them to the breakout room. You know that from our previous webinars that how to organize breakout rooms, yeah? And After doing this, teacher will ask each group to write down at least on online whiteboard or virtual sticky notes that interesting things that they all have it in common. And here teacher should mention that to avoid obvious things. For example, their gender, their boy or girl, or they can avoid such age. You know, the classes, the ages will be at the same. That's why it would be perfect if they avoid these kind of things. And it would be engaging if they include something unique to each participant. And they will have 5 minutes to do this task in the breakout rooms. After this, at the end of the 5 minutes, teacher will ask each group to share their list to the rest of the class via an online whiteboard. And in this whiteboard, once they have shared, they will compare their similarities and different points of the students. It would be one of the icebreaker, engaging and get to know activity to use in the classroom, in the online classroom. And here you may use online tools such as I mentioned, breakout rooms and online whiteboard, chat boards, or other collaboration tools such as a Padlet or Lino. Moving to the next activity, Martina, please. One of the engaging and fun activity we can use in our online classroom is who 3 dots is anyway. You can put the objects, different objects here, for example, whose mother is anyway, or whose pen is anyway, whose shoes is anyway. The student who finds and come up with that object will be a winner here. You know, in the students, most of the students' mothers will observe the classes together, and it would be perfect if they invite their mother to show this classroom. In virtual classroom, it is very efficient and effective to use this kind of activities. And another adaptation of this activity can be done beforehand, before the class. For example, whose fridge is it anyway? I made it. Here the students will be asked beforehand to take a picture of their fridge, and teacher will provide with, for example, PowerPoint slide, and he will demonstrate the screen. After that, other students should find whose fridge is it, and they will discuss and analyze, and they will get know each other. And in this point, there is one thing that teacher should be careful that to choose which object they have to provide beforehand. You know, sometimes students will feel shy to share their fridge. And teachers should consider all the points choosing the object to share with the whole group. But anyway, it would be a very fun, hilarious, and effective activities to use in online classroom. My next activity I would like to introduce is, Martina. What is in the box? This activity is very engaging and useful and very effective to use in the classroom. Let me introduce the steps. Firstly, teacher will put the object in the box. As for me, once I did with my students, and I put my earphones in the box and ask them yes/no questions about the object. For example, is this something you can find it in the kitchen, or is it for the kids, or is something you can use every day, or is it something you can put in a bag, or something like this? Teacher will answer yes or no, no other words. And once the student finds the correct answer, he or she will be winner. And the other adaptation of this game can be that students themselves can conduct this activity. I mean, once they have found the object which is in the box, they can show off their own objects in the box, and they can answer the yes/no questions, and they can conduct the activity in this way. It would be effective and engaging activity to use in the classroom. And the next activity, next one, following activity is Madi. It is a take a picture of something class activity. Why I chose this activity for this webinar is that in the online classroom, students will stick to the screen and they won't move. This activity will help them to move from their sitting place and do something. It would be engaging, and it would help them to wake up. And coming to the instructions, first of all, a teacher asks the students to take picture of something, and typically teachers should find a specific topic. For example, teacher may ask participants to take picture of their shoes, or a picture of something that on their workstation, or a view outside the window. And here is the one point that teacher should remember is teacher should ask participants to take the picture and upload it before the class has started. Otherwise, it might take too much time, and if the teacher do it in a real time, but it can be done in both ways. After that, teacher will ask the students to share the picture on a virtual board or whiteboard, and then start a discussion. In this discussion, what kind of questions they can ask? For example, why they chose that particular item on their desk, or what they like the most about the view they can see through their window, or etc. I believe that there will be a hot discussion about the pictures given by the students. Next one is next. We know that in online classroom, it's essential to give a break to the students, that they shouldn't stick to the screen. And these breaks should be short, and we can make these short breaks as an interactive ones. I will explain how we will organize these short interactive breaks. Firstly, teacher tells the students they will have a short break till the end of given music has finished. Then teacher will put on the music and ask them to bring their favorite things. For the first time, teacher may ask to bring their favorite book, or second time, teacher may ask their unusual cup, or their favorite bag, or their red pencil, or their favorite pen to use. It would be perfect for the students to show and to observe the objects and items that other students has used. And then once they have bring their items, teacher's task is to encourage them to talk for a minute about that object. And in this way, students will get to know each other, and they will definitely break the ice. Thank you. For the next slide is Medina.
Thank you, Sabina. Now we will learn another activity, and it's called a 5-minute activity. And you should say 3 words. You should ask your students to say 3 words in each category. Now I will instruct you. I will show you just the questions, the sentences, and let's play this activity. Who wants to start first?
Any word?
According to the category, right?
No, I will show you what you should say.
Okay.
Miss Barno, would you like to start?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, let's see. You should tell me just words that begin with sun.
Sunshine, sunburn, and sunlight.
Okay, thank you. And
Okay.
thank you, Miss Barno. And we have another one. Shahnoza Samadova, would you like to join us? Shahnoza?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's see. The words that begin with C and P. 3 words. Shahnoza, can you hear me? Am I audible?
Can we help?
Special?
Okay.
Okay, sphere.
Uh-huh.
Sphere, first one.
Okay.
Is it audible?
It is.
Yes, I can. Is it audible?
Yes. You said sphere?
Now.
Sorry?
No. Can you? Okay. Second one.
Mm-hmm.
And the last, yes, sphere.
Oops. And internet connection.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm here
Uh-huh.
as spoil specific sphere.
Okay, thank you, 3 words. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Who wants to join us?
You may type the words have bad internet connection.
Yeah.
Clear.
Okay. The third one. Who wants to give it a try? Okay, Miss Nargis. Let's see. Uh-huh.
Encouragement.
Uh-huh.
Disappointment.
Oh.
Fulfillment.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Great words. And the last one.
More words?
Last.
Ah.
Okay, let's we will try. All of us will try this time. The word starts with RE.
Redo, reaction, reactive.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you too.
Thank you. Now let's move to another activity. And this activity is called Go Fishing. Here you should design your PowerPoint presentation. After the class, we will share our templates in our channel as well. And you can use this template. You can see it here. The picture of the lot of fish. And so you can use your PowerPoint presentation, and you can ask your students to choose one of them and answer. And you should formulate some questions beforehand, before the class. But you will not show the questions. You will ask your students to choose one of them and answer the question. Here you can see some interesting questions. For example, you can ask, what's the one thing you want to learn this year? And here you can see another interesting question, like, if you could have a magical power, what would it be? So here you can see a lot of interesting questions, and it can be really great icebreaker to start your class and to draw your learners' attention. And we will share with you these templates after the class and after this webinar. Now, we would like to invite you to unmute your microphones again and think of the 3 things that you have learned during this webinar. Time to reflect.
May I?
Medina?
Okay, think of 3 things. Firstly, the first and the foremost thing, I think the types of icebreaker activities which you and Sabina instructed. I liked all of them. And next one, style of the learning, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, tactile, and how to integrate these styles.
So learning styles and multiple intelligences, you mean, yeah, right?
Yes, multiple intelligences, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Gis.
So I've learned how to make the lesson interactive online classes, how to engage students with games. Especially I like the last one with fish, colorful fish. And what else? That's it.
Thank you.
Well, may I also add?
Yes, go ahead.
It was a really informative webinar. Actually, these types of activities, they were so attractive and very interesting, because it seems like teachers all the time, they have everything enough and they have much more information. But when it comes to play or to choose one, we think about, okay, which one to choose or which one will be suitable. And from today's webinar, I have learned more and more, and well, so we can choose from this bunch of activities to different ages and to different groups. So they are really wonderful and helpful. Thank you very much.
Thank you too for the participation, Ms. Barno. Ms. Shahnoza, would you like to say something?
Yes,
Can you speak up, or can your voice is too low?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, much better. Okay, go ahead.
I know that this has been very wonderful, because my course mate Sabina Askar is here. I know how powerful girl she is. Thank you very much for this wonderful like webinar, and I hope next time I will be more active observing, because this is the first time I have participated here. But I believe that and in your hard work, and I'm really thankful to have this opportunity which was given to me by you guys. So great work. Thank you.
Thank you too for the participation. Anyone else? So thank you all for the participation. And if you have any question, if you like to make some comments, feel free.
Feel free to ask any
So
question.
when is the next webinar, guys? I mean,
Next Friday.
So every Friday there is a webinar, right? Because I'm new in your group. I mean, like
Yes.
in your channel.
Join our channel and Telegram group as well. We will inform.
Yeah, I am
We
there.
will share the link with you. Thank you.
So the last thing that I'd like to ask is that so I am very lucky to have Sabina around me, because she updates me about the latest information about your channel. And I wonder if there any way that I can do also contribute to this very program. So
for this, you have to contact with Miss Sawadat, and you will share resume, and then after that, she will decide to join you to our community, I think.
Yes. Thank you, Sabina.
Thank you.
Any questions?
No. Thank you for interesting and engaging webinar. And so I'm so glad to see you, Madina.
Thank you too. I'm really delighted to see you.
You're shining as the sun.
Thank you.
I miss you. Okay.
Thank you everyone for your participation and for your observation of our webinar. We hope, we believe that you can find useful, helpful information and activities to adapt, to implement your classroom. Thank you everyone.
Thank you all for the participation.
Thank you very much. See you next time.
See you next
See
time.
you.